Hello again, everyone. Today's video is going to be on area, and I'm just going to go over very briefly what area is, give a couple of examples, and then give you the bonus activity. So again, I'm going to assume you already have a general idea of what area is, and if not, and if you're new to it, then this is a good introduction for you as well. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what exactly is area. So area is basically the size a surface takes up, measured in unit squares. And the formula being L times B, which is length times breadth, or width. So I'm going to use the term breadth here in place of width, being that as a teaching overseas, most of my viewers, or a great number of my viewers, use the word breadth. However, width is also totally acceptable if you're from the States and you use the word breadth instead. I'm totally okay with that. So let's go ahead and see my first example here. And we're going to look at the rectangle below here. And my question here is, how many squares are in each row and each column? Okay, so the rows here are these going across here, and then the columns are the ones that are going up and down. Now, what I tell my students to try to remember this a little bit easier is think of columns like you would in a house or a building, a large structure that has columns holding up, usually like the ceiling or something like that. So that's what a column is here, okay? And then the rows are these. Okay, so the question again is, how many squares are in each row and each column? So we know there are 8 squares here in this row, and we know there are 4 squares here in these columns. So we're just going to count the number of squares in one row and count the number of squares in one column and multiply the two numbers together to find the area. So 8 times 4 is 32. Looking at this next example here, again, we're looking at a rectangle. So what is the approximate length of the rectangle? Now, as you can see, some of the squares are not totally filled in. They're slightly shaded or not shaded. So you're going to have to try to estimate. Now, the squares are 1 centimeter, okay? So if you're wondering how large each square is, it's 1 centimeter. So what's the approximate length of the rectangle? And you're just going to count the squares here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer is about 7 centimeters. Excuse me, the squares are centimeters, I should say. And what is the approximate breadth? And again, breadth is width, in case you're wondering. So I'm just going to count the squares here. So it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, slightly less than 4. But I'm not going to ask you to estimate like that per se. Just round it to the nearest whole centimeter. So we'll say 4 centimeters. So again, what is the approximate area of the rectangle? So we know that it's 7 centimeters in length, 4 centimeters in breadth or width. So we know that 7 centimeters times 4 centimeters is going to be about 28 centimeters square. So here's the bonus activity. And as you can see here, I've got this foot, not my foot, but it's a foot. And the directions are, find the approximate area of this figure by A, count all the whole squares, so all the whole squares here, and we'll stick to centimeters again. B, count all the half squares or more, and then C, add the numbers together. So that's going to be the first bonus activity. And the second bonus activity will be what was the direction, the directions say copy the rectangle, and this is obviously not to scale, so you don't go and measure this and say that's not 1 meter. It's not. It's just an illustration to do the activity, so it's not to scale. So the directions are, what is the approximate length of the square? The second one here is, what is the approximate breadth? And again, breadth is width. The third question is, what is the approximate area of the square? And then the last one is, write the following. 1 meter times 1 meter equals what? Okay. I've gone ahead and added a third bonus activity. This one's going to be a lot more challenging. So if you found the other two bonus activities easy, hopefully you'll find this one to be more challenging. I've put this grid up here, and what I want you to do is find the area of each shape. Now, each side of the square grid is 1 meter. Show your work. So as you can see, there are parts here missing, and what I want you to try to do is find the area of each of these shapes in the grid and show your work. What I want you to do is just show me how you got your answer. All right, so this is more of a challenge here, this third bonus activity. If you found the other two too easy, try this one out. And again, the answers will be in the description down below. So that'll do it for this video on area. And again, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. I will have an answer key available in the description down below, so don't worry about how to check your answers. I'll leave it there. If you're not able to open it, please send me a message and I will make it available if that's not possible. Okay? So again, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.